give the materials in my possession to the gentlemen that are to write the Duke of Marlborough's history. And I would have them begin in this style. I write the history of the Duke of Marlborough. It will require no flourishes to set it off, but short, plain facts. His father was Sir Winston Churchill, whose estate was plundered by Parliament in the Civil War. He began with the first commission of an ensign in the army and went on through every step in that profession. He served first at Tangier and then with the Duke of York at the sea battle against the Dutch at Sole Bay. For his conduct, he was advanced from ensign to captain, and in that same war served on the French side of the siege of Maastricht under the Duke of Monmouth.
Jack! You came at a good time. Will you dine with us?
With great pleasure, sir.
Well then, Jack, be acquainted with my friends. Monsieur de Villars.
Honored, sir.
And Monsieur d'Artagnan, commanding His Majesty's Musketeers. This gentleman is one of our English company, Captain Churchill.
I saw you yesterday, sir, in the front of the assault.
Aye, he was there.
Behind you, sir. And did you not plant our lily standard on the parapet?
Aye, he did.
And then, by God, sir, I am glad to know you.
Sally, the Dutch are out. Quick, gather what force you can. Rendezvous here in 5 minutes. Will you come?
I have but a dozen men at hand, but we'll join.
And I, with my one companion. This.
Good. No time to waste. Straight across the trenches, we'll take them in the flank. Trumpeter, sound the alarm.
No feathers here. The breach is guarded.
Who guards it? The devil! I go through. Will you follow me?
You should die, sir. King Louis will be displeased.
Ah, pox on King Louis. Do you think I fight for him?
Then let me go the first.
No, John, no!
I fight for King Louis, and I've taken his pay these 10 years. So if your grace will forgive me.
Forward!
That king, Louis the Grand, or as he was termed, the Sun King, was present as spectator of this campaign, though he lacked not flatterers to tell him how his own genius had gained the victory for France. That king was pleased to distinguish Captain Churchill before the whole army. But if His Majesty could have foreseen the future, instead of embracing that young man, he would have ordered him to be hanged. It has been said that my lord owed his advancement to his sister Arabella, but the whole truth was as follows. She was maid of honor to the first Duchess of York, and had at least 2 or 3 bastards by the Duke, or others, when her brother was whipped at St. Paul's School for not reading his book. Now I would fain have any reasonable body tell me what the Duke of Marlborough could do when a boy at school, to prevent the infamy of his sister, or indeed to profit by it.
Come, Johnny, and you, Bella, pray join us. We have a new game called Epitaphs. Johnny Rochester invented it.
Nay, Sir Adam did when he writ the first one upon Abel.
When Adam's wit was as thin as his wine, he writ a damn dull one. Now, you see, each player takes a name out of the hat and writes an epitaph on that name. Then, back into the hat they go to conceal the writer, and then they're drawn out to be read. You see? Now. God's fish, Jamie, listen to this. Carolus Rex. Here lies our sovereign lord the king, whose word no man relies on. He never said a foolish thing, and never did a wise one. Johnny, you dog, this is your word.
Indeed, sir.
Plague on you, sir, I can recognize your hand. But as to the contents of the verse, 'tis true enough, as my discourse is mine own. But for my deeds, you must blame me ministers. Now, verbs, now, verbs.
Who is it?
You, my lord. I raise my glass to Laurie Hyde, who drove a lying quill. He never spoke but he lied, and now he's lying still.
Oh, no, split me, that's monstrous libel. Here!
This Fubs was Louise de Caraway, or Madame Carwell, as the English named her. She was a French whore and a papist, though I believe of good family. The king made her the Duchess of Portsmouth, and for this she was called Fireship by Nellie Gwynn and others. Unjustly, I think, for her children were healthy enough.
Now, Laurie, your turn.
Sir. Oh, a long title, though a short epitaph.
Who is it?
Mistress Barbara Villiers, Mistress Palmer, Countess of Castlemaine, Duchess of Cleveland.
Barbara? Well, is she here? Where is she? Oh, stay. Is it bawdy?
Most monstrous indecency.
Oh, well, then Barbara should hear it. She loves good, honest bawdy.
Jack, flat on my back. What do I lack? Only my Jack. Don't leave me, Jack. My lodging, it is on the cold ground, and oh, very hard is my fare. But that which troubles me most is the unkindness of my dear. You know that song Mal Davis sings?
Everybody does. But I never thought to hear you sing it, misliking Moll as you do.
True. I hate her. She's a whey-faced punk. Why Charles ever took her into his bed? Well, it was Buckingham's doing, to spite me. But I like her song well enough. And if thou would harden thy heart and be deaf to my pitiful moan, then I must endure the smart and tumble in straw alone. When the day comes that I tumble in straw alone.
Men will fly to the moon. Where's my coat?
There, Jack, there. You were too impatient to hang it up. Why are you leaving me?
Because tomorrow I go to France.
France? You keep some strumpet there?
50. And all prettier than you.
Liar, liar, liar. But you are my cousin, so I must needs love you. You are my cousin, are you not?
Second, once removed.
Then come here, cousin. Most beloved cousin. Second, once removed. Let me cousin you to stay.
Betty, wake up. Huh? What is it, a fire?
Worse.
The king's coming too. Oh, Lord, save us.
Who is it?
Oh, it's Betty, Mom.
Go! away.
Oh, no, Mom, that I can't. Mom, it's the king.
Stop him!
Yes, Mom. Stop the king. Stop the king.
No other way out?
No. Hide yourself there.
I have no liking for traps. So there remains the window.
Nay. Just 20 feet down, you'll break your neck.
Maybe. But if the king should suspect, well, my love, just see that he does not. Pull the curtains behind me.
So, Her Grace is in bed.
Oh, this hour gone, Your Majesty,
And she bade you not to disturb her.
Why, indeed, Your Majesty.
Indeed, Your Majesty.
Since when has Her Grace slept at 9 o'clock? Betty, your face betrays you. As for you, wench,
Who is it?
most soundly asleep. Why, madam, what ails you? Are you ill?
A villainous headache.
Well,
And a bellyache.
now that does not astonish me.
And a damnable heartache, Charles. Well, does that surprise you? You haven't been near me for 4 months.
What do you keep in there?
Robes, silks, satins, kerchiefs, bedgowns. Would you see?
No.
Pity! You paid for them all. There is also a bottle or two. Brandy, usquebaugh. Charles, if I had known that you had honored me with a visit, I would have ordered wine as a supper. But will you not take some cordial?
No.
Charles,
Well,
you haven't looked under the bed.
God's wounds, madam, a man has been here.
Who?
Well, how should I know?
Indeed, how should you?
But let me name a few who come readily to mind, as Wycherley the poet, Harvey, Montague, Hart the player, Jacob Hall the rope dancer, the gate porter.
Infamous.
Truly.
If you believe what my enemies say.
Your enemies? Nay, madam. But as for your friends, that is a different matter. Only a young gallant and a brave one could make such a leap. But I know of one who might venture it. Barbara, your health is very dear to me. I do beseech you, don't go to bed with the casements open. The night air has ill effects on the head, the belly, and for all I know, the heart.
I will obey you, Charles. As in everything.
Oh, when next do you see your cousin?
My cousin?
The one in the red coat. He's a whoreson rascal, but tell him he's forgiven. He only does it to get his bread.
Bread? For this he shall have an estate.
The story of that amour was soon known to all the court, and it was said that, for his jumping out of the window, the Duchess gave him £5,000. For my part, I know not the truth of it, and would never ask him. Harriet. I came extreme young into court and had the luck to be liked by many in it. But I think that anyone that has common sense must be wary of everything one meets with in courts. I was maid of honour to the second Duchess of York, who was scarce older than the Princesses Mary and Anne, the Duke's daughters by his first wife. Even then, the Lady Anne expressed much fondness for me and took pleasure in my company.
Now sit down, Sarah, and make a fall with us.
Gladly, madam. What game is it you play?
Quite a simple game. We used to play it in Italy. 'Tis a game for children.
I married for simple-minded children. Each lays down a card, and if 2 paired cards are turned up, you cry out, snap! Snap, 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 snap!
Oh.
And the first to cry snap gets the cards.
And you don't like it?
She doesn't, because I'm the quicker at crying snap. Only because you never stop bawling snap whether the cards be paired or no. Snap, 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 snap!
Oh.
You see, that's all it is. No skill, no hazards, and at the end, no money changes hands.
These are dangerous gamesters, madam. Keep a watch on them, or they'll have your dowry.
Indeed, I do beware. There's a game they wish to play, but they know not the manner of it, and neither do I.
What is it?
'Tis called 21.
Ah, now that's for real gamblers.
Oh, do you know the rules?
Yes, I've seen it played often here at Whitehall.
Then pray, teach us. Teach us, teach us.
Sarah, do you think they should learn so young?
Why, madam, every lady in the court plays at cards, whether it be Bassett, Bragg, or Lantaloo. Aye, and for pretty high stakes, as these ladies will play too, when they get there. 'Tis surely good sense that they learn to play as soon as possible, if only to save their purses. And 21 at farthing points can't be ruinous now.
No, it can't. Please, madam.
Oh. Very well. How do we begin?
Well, first is a banker who deals out the cards.
I desire to be banker.
And so you shall, Lady Mary, but not until you know the rules.
Oh,
Mistress Jennings must be the banker until we all know the rules.
Now, each card is worth the number on it, except for the court cards, and each of them is worth 10. But an ace is worth either 1 or 11, whichever you choose.
11? More than the king?
Aye. Well, when it's 1, we'll call it maid of honour, and when it's 11, we'll call it the emperor.
Oh, the emperor?
Yes. Now, the object of the game is to get 21 or as near to it as possible.
How do we?
Patience, child, and listen.
Look, it can only be done with 2 cards. King, Emperor, 11, 10, 21. And that's called a natural. And if you get it, you win very, very handsomely.
How much?
4 times whatsoever your stake.
Oh.
Now, each person has 1 card and 1 for me. Now, we look at our cards. No. Carefully, so no one can see what we hold. And now we begin our gamble. But stay, where are the farthings? Has anyone a pocket full of farthings?
Nay, but we'll send for some.
I have a parcel of beads somewhere. Now, let me see. If we reckon each bead to be worth a farthing, then we can play with the beads and settle up later.
But, madam, these are pearls.
Oh, I believe they are. They came unstrung a week since, and I've never thought to have them mended.
Pearls! Now we are gamesters! We're gamesters!
Oh. With little merit of my own, I soon became a favourite. But my lord's advance was owing to his own ability. And I think 'tis more honour to rise from the lowest step to the greatest than, as the fashion is now, to be admirals without ever having seen water but in a basin, or to make generals that never saw any action of war.
A strong post, Jack. Questionless. And they had double our numbers, so they looked not for us to join battle.
This wood here, to their left.
Little Wood, we called it.
And the village?
Entzheim, at their centre. Well, Turenne brought us across the river there, and we surprised the enemy by advancing at once.
In what order?
Little Wood was the key. Colonel Boufflers was sent to clear it with his dragoons, but could make no headway. So our English foot were ordered to push through. The enemy had a battery of 5 cannon, which we beat them from. We took the cannon.
Not without loss.
Many dead. I had 11 officers killed or wounded out of 22. Your regiment of horse were used much worse than we. Above half the regiment lost. Lieutenant Colonel Littleton, Captain Green...
Yes, I saw the list in your dispatches. But you won the day.
True, sir. But the damnable thing...
Yes?
Churchill, glad to see you home.
Thank you, sir.
Covered with honour. They tell me the French king made you a colonel.
He did, sir.
And placed you like Uriah at the forefront of the battle. And didn't seduce the French queen, I hope.
You have your scriptures inside out, sir.
Truly, in good King David's day, he was the seducer.
We do our best, Johnny. We do our best. But come, son James and brother James, have we no reward for this young Achilles?
And the warrant is in his pocket.
Lieutenant Colonel, in my own regiment.
Good. Half pay, I suppose.
While this nation is at peace, yes.
Well, Churchill, if you should lack for money, you must go and fight again for King Louis. In the meantime, a bout of tennis. Tomorrow at 8 o'clock?
Gladly, sir.
You, Johnny? Oh, no, you won't be sober before 12, will you?
God forbid.
You?
8 o'clock.
Godolphin? So, we make up our four. There's my good silent Godolphin. Never in the way, never out of the way. So, 5 minutes before the masque begins. It's called the Masque of Calisto, or the Chaste Nymph, a monstrous, unlikely conceit. But all the shining beauties have a part in it, and not to speak of me young nieces. So will you join us?
Sir, excuse me. Since I left Dover this morning, I have eaten nothing.
You are excused. However, there is a ball afterwards, which may be rather more to your liking.
I'm honoured, sir.
A word with you, James, as we go.
John, welcome home.
There's much to speak of. Will you sup with me?
Nay, I cannot.
But why not?
There's a masque, you see.
Why, Sidney, if you said you were engaged at cards or at dice, I'd forgive you, but a masque? Stay now. Can it be possible? Is she back at court?
Excuse me. Tomorrow at 8, and we'll dine afterwards.
Jack, before you sup, I would ask you something.
Sir?
You said, when we were interrupted, but the damnable thing, what was that?
It was of no importance.
Why, to me it is. Your discourse on war, Jack, is ever of strategy. The movement of regiment and cannon, the use of ground, the provision of supplies and ordnance. But here, for the first time, I perceive emotion.
Then I was at fault.
Well, not so. Tell me.
Very well, sir. The French claim a victory at Ensign over the Empire. I durst not brag of such a victory.
No? Why?
When so many brave men are killed, there should be gains to justify the loss. Here there was none. This bloody fight was fought with no decisive result. It was fought for no reason, no cause. Another victory for the great Turenne against odds. Another plume in the French king's hat. And further.
And further.
I'm again in danger of emotion.
Then let it fly.
Our English troops under my command, sir, were thrown into the assault and suffered, as you know. Yet half the French battalions were so disposed they never fought at all. Now I find it near intolerable that Englishmen should be slaughtered in a quarrel that is not their own. That English troops...
English mercenaries, Jack.
Very well, sir, very well. At 8p a day. But now you know that arms are my profession. I studied deeply the art of war. That if ever I should command an army...
And questionless you will.
Sir, men must die in battle, but no man should die needlessly for any general's glory, and no man shall die under my command unless he knows the cause he fights for.
Now, this is a far cry from the breach at Maastricht.
We were boys, galliards, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth.
I've heard that phrase.
Dryden. No, another poet. Since Maastricht, I've seen many things and learned more. Your Grace will forgive me. I speak too much.
You speak too seldom. But 'tis interesting nonetheless to know that you can. Jack, I must go. I've been engaged to dance at the end of the masque.
Yes, the masque. Tell me, sir, why is Godolphin so concerned to be there?
Why, did he not tell you the fair Margaret plays in it? But the saintly Mistress Blagg.
But she's retired from court.
Aye, but my Uncle York would have her back. No one but Meg, says my uncle, could take the part of Diana.
Come, come away, my nymphs. Too long we have reposed. The morning has her golden doors unclosed, and there stands blushing on us. Come, away! Fairest Calisto, most admired, beloved, the fairest, chastest, most approved of all that ever graced my virgin throng. You, who of great and royal race are sprung, born under golden roofs and bred to ease, to every kind of soft delight, to glory, power, and all that might a royal virgin please.
Yes, by the scornfist of the train, your nymph is yielding. Is yielding. Pox on it, what comes next? Hush, with Margaret Blagg in full cry. Never. Is yielding. But truly, you know the words. Indeed, I knew them 2 minutes since, but shall I know them 2 minutes hence?
Innocence and chastity is... From toils of greatness I discharge my mind, and only in these shades true ease I find.
If the Lady Mary can remember her words. The Lady Mary, being a princess, is born to be an actress, as an actress is born to be a whore.
This royal favourite storms our goddess' heart, conquers it too, and rules her power divine.
To mine.
Whilst all our
Look,
days
Sarah.
unregarded shine.
The languishing
I never
Godolphin.
such a victim had before.
See how he dotes.
Crown, beauty, youth, what all the world adore.
And Margaret
You bring
dotes
at
on
once
him,
in
and yet she
sacrifice
won't
to
resolve
me.
to marry.
The offering exceeds the deity.
He is the most honest man I've seen since I came first to court.
This favourite has her heart and empire won.
It's you. Lady Anne, you must go on now.
No, Sarah!
Lady Anne, calmly, all will be well.
How I am pleased my sister's praise to hear, though like a little star I now appear, nature and nature and...
Lady Anne, it goes, nature and friendship do enough prefer. Nature and friendship.
Nature and friendship do enough prefer my name to honour whilst I shine in her. The crown and glory at your feet I throw are for your favour offering too low, and giving only what I scorn and hate, I gain your service at too cheap a rate.
Oh, how for praise she spreads her spacious net. Not one regard for us.
This is the dullest trash I ever heard in all my life.
For virtue
But the maids do well,
I neither
very well.
will, nor ought to bear this wrong. You, princess, do adorn, enrich my shade. Ne'er was so great, so early triumphs made. At once of beauty, glory, youth, and ease, all of them fair, delightful provinces. None e'er so young, such courage did express. The Macedonian victories were less.
Ah, well, Johnny.
A most magnificent entertainment, sir. Imperial, symbolical, classical, comical, too, although the author intended something quite different.
May I attend you, madam? I should like to hear your opinion of the musical.
Aye, sir, you do these things so very well at court. The music, the illuminations, the scenes, the costumes. Why, scratch me if I ever saw any better done at Drury Lane. Save one item only.
Well, what was that, Johnny?
Those damn chairs. I swear to you, sir, in all faith, I have the sorest ass in Christendom.
Now, where is Mr. Crown? I wish to reward him. Now, where is he?
If your brother is looking for the eminent poet, Mr. Crown, the man that writ this rhyming garbage, he was last seen an hour since, beating his head against a wall, weeping like a running ulcer, and disclaiming all knowledge of the process. And he was drunk, sir, as drunk as an alderman's whore. I pray you, sir, come away now before he meets your brother and stuns him dead with a blunt epigram.
Your Grace, something has happened, sir, and I must ask your advice.
Why, Meg, what is the matter? Nay, Meg, what is amiss? Tell me. And where is Mr. Godolphin?
He's trying to find it, he and Sarah, but they won't. They can't. We've looked everywhere. It's gone. Stolen.
What, Meg?
A diamond brooch lent me by my Lady Suffolk worth £80.
A trifle to her?
She won't think so, and how can I ever find the value of it? I would to God they'd never persuaded me into this devilish vanity, and I swear they never shall again. But would you believe it, the son that envy me the honour, as they call it, of acting in this vile play, and pass malicious jests upon me, well, they'll have no reason to do so again.
Come now, this is of no great matter, and I'll wager...
The stage was swept. And they even searched the gentlemen's tiring rooms.
Oh!
Meg, do stop snivelling. It cures nothing, and it makes you monstrous ugly. What does he do here?
Mr. Churchill? He came by and saw me.
Indeed. Now, if you value your honour... Shh.
You know of this disaster?
Something.
A moment, then. I've spoken to York, and he's promised to make good the loss of the brooch.
So he might, but still 'tis generous.
But, John, if I should ever capture Margaret, persuade her to marry me, this might be the time.
Then go to it.
Aye, but this young Jennings...
Is that Sarah Jennings? But she was a child.
Well, she is a child no longer.
So I observe.
And there's something masterful about her.
That, too, I observe.
Then will you...
And more. Much more. Beauty. And a kind of radiance.
John,
pray forgive me.
Sir!
Mistress Jennings, there is something I must tell you. Privately. It is of the utmost importance.
Oh, go, dear Sarah. I'm sure Mr. Godolphin will attend me.
Indeed I shall.
Then, madam.
Well, Mr. Churchill?
Mistress Jennings, your servant.
This matter of importance.
Oh, yes. Upon my soul, you're the prettiest boy I ever saw in my life.
Is that all you were to tell me?
That and 100 other things.
Of equal importance, I dare swear.
Nay, some much weightier, but all on the same subject.
Then pray, excuse me.
Wait.
Sir, I will not wait. Do you imagine I came only yesterday to court?
It matters only that you are here now, for you bring the sunshine with you.
If you think that I am to be cozened and wheedled...
Was there ever a maid yet that scorned to be admired?
Was there ever one that liked to be laughed at? You jest upon me because I'm young and look like a fool in these damn breeches.
Hey,
But
mistress.
truly, I am a maid and like to be admired, but not by every idle, lecherous rogue in court. You may ogle me black and blue, sir, if you must. I'm well used to that, but at a distance. if you please. And as for your sugary discourse, keep that for the women that fawn on you. I know. I've seen them.
Sarah.
That is my name. You've no right to...
Sarah. I use it because... well, because I believe we shall know each other better.
Never.
Just now I have a strange thought. We'll talk of that another time.
We will not.
But now, I cozened you and jested with you, true,
Yes,
but for a reason. Just look and see if I was right. See? That's the merriest laugh I've heard these 12 months. How well do you know Margaret?
I think no one knows her well.
If she were a papist,
Which God forbid.
she'd be a nun. She prays 8 times a day and writes learnedly to Mr. Evelyn about the condition of her soul. But she loves my friend in a human, ordinary, carnal way. And he has loved her these 9 years. Do you think such love should go unrewarded?
And this was the one moment? It is not only my breeches that make me a fool.
Nay, you wished to be kind. But Sarah, there are times when only a man can do a man's work. Now, will you come with me to the ball?
Like this?
Why not?
Why not indeed? And let the tongues clack until they're sore.
Not Godolphin.
A man of taste. Jack is no name for anyone so distinguished as you, sir. Jack is commonplace, a rude name. Jack Straw, Jack Ketch, Jack-o'-lantern, steeplejack, Jackass. What does she call you?
Who?
What's her pet name for you?
Why, Jack, home from the war. Mistress Jennings, is it not?
Your Grace. Or am I mistaken?
The gavotte, Jack. Our dance was ever the first gavotte.
I'm engaged for it, madam.
Indeed you are. To me. Since when did the maids of honor wear breeches? Doesn't the pretense of chastity go too far? Bitch!
You play at gods, madam, then kings will serve.